Back and welcome to another edition of The Sales Life. Building life skills for a higher and better lifestyle. Sales life is not just for those in the sales profession, it's for those who are building the life skills of selling, because we're all selling our way through life, man. You need some skills to be able to do so. So today's episode, man, is a recap from the 7 prior episodes. So you get 7 episodes all wrapped into one. So that way you'll listen to it, hear the highlights of it, and if it's something that interests you more, you can catch The Sales Life on IGTV, on iTunes, and also on YouTube. Welcome back, or welcome to another edition of The Sales Life. As you can see, man, things are a little bit different today. So I wanted to not only change where I'm doing the video. I decided, man, you know, it kind of gets old doing it in the office, same background, same backdrop. So this time, man, I'm going to sit in the living room on the couch. And that way go over this week's episodes. And we're going to break down all of this week's episodes. So episode 523 was from sports psychologist Michael Gervais. He's got a real good podcast, man, you want to check out, called Finding Mastery. He's teamed up also with Pete Carroll and Compete to Create, I think is the name of their business. But Michael brings a lot of great content. And just his psychology, because he's a sports psychologist. So the psychology behind what he does is really, truly fascinating. But we just kind of ran with a quote the other day of, you have to know form and structure in order to break form and structure. Because otherwise, man, you're just shortcutting. And many times that's what we find in life. We start shortcutting. And because we want to hurry up and get the results. It's the difference between the pros and the amateurs, the difference between the professionals that you want to get to and where you are today, is because the pros know how to, they have form and structure. They adhere strongly to form and structure. But so that way, when they need to break form and structure, like an athlete trying to make an awkward shot, or you see an entrepreneur that kind of puts all his chips in, or you see a top producer that just does something so outlandish, and then all of a sudden he makes a deal, and you look at that and you say, bro, I want to do that too. So you try to copy that. But the difference is, the professionals break form and structure to make something shake, to make something happen, but they quickly come back to it and they adhere to it 99% of the time. So the 1% that they need to break, they do it, but then they quickly come back. That's the centerness. And the difference for you is, when you break form and structure, you keep breaking form and structure. It's like opening the front door, man. The dog runs out the front door. That's what my dog does. It's like, they just take off. That's what we do. In our careers, we take off out the front door and we never come back. You got to come back to form and structure. Episode 424 was, don't be so quick to ask for help. This is a big one, especially for salespeople, especially for young managers. Oftentimes, man, you're too quick when you're confronted with something that is foreign, something that you haven't seen before, something where you kind of get freaked out. You have a tendency, man, to quickly ask for help. And don't be so quick to do so. Because sometimes, man, what you have to learn to do, one way that you're going to boost your confidence and also your credibility, that's important too, because people are watching what you do in tense situations. If you're always asking for help, then what you're saying silently is I don't know, I can't figure this out on my own. And so to boost your confidence and your credibility, you've got to learn how to marinate in the uncertainty, marinate in the unknown. And then that way, what you can do is you sit there and you figure it out. This is, the longer you can sit there, it's not that you don't ask for help, it's just that you're not so quick to ask for help. You have to learn to know how to learn to look for something. Versus, I know you're looking at something new. Well, Marsh, I don't know the answer to it. Well, I know. So you have to learn how to know what to look for. And sometimes, man, it's breaking things down. Sometimes it's slowing the scenes down. Sometimes doing that, you'll figure it out on your own. You'll boost your credibility. You'll boost your self-esteem. You'll boost your confidence. And also you'll learn how to tame those voices, those Mayday voices I like to call. that are screaming out to eject, to get out of there. And she's sweet. All right, so episode 525 was be the face of your pace, man. This is Ivy. That's my baby. So be the face of your pace. And one thing, man, that you have to realize is you're either the one setting the pace in your life or you're following the pace of someone else. And many times what happens is the associations that we keep determine our pace. And so you can either, if the associations you keep, they're at a higher pace than you, then you'll actually speed up. You'll actually punch above your weight because you want to get up to their level. Some of the associations that you keep, you may slow down to others. And this is where, the guy who is normally working out, is what I talk about in the podcast. The guy who is normally working out hooks up with somebody who doesn't work out, who eats bad, and then all of a sudden you start slowing to that person's pace. You're not as strict in your diet, you're not as strict in working out, you take a few days off, and this is where you balloon up 50 pounds. So this is being the face of your pace. This is also, man, where you have to, like the people that you're hanging out with at work, especially in sales, man. Are you the one doing the pacing, or are you following someone else's pace? All right, episode 526. This is, like 16 pages into 50 Cent's new book, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. He was talking about a friend of his that just couldn't break to the next level. He was super good at what he did. And 50 Cent brought him along to a meeting with some high-powered executives because he kind of wanted to help get the guy up to the next level, and he thought the guy could actually sell his idea better than 50 could relate it. So he brought the guy in. These high-powered executives are sitting there talking to him, and the dude, he don't say nothing. And so 50 Cent has to sit there and answer all the questions, and 50's like, I couldn't figure out why this guy couldn't break it to the next level, and now I realize what it is. He couldn't break to the next level because he's sitting on his hands. You can't sit on your hands. You have to be always raising your hand. And it's not that you always have the right answer. You're not intimidated that you get the wrong answer. That's the part of self-discovery, man. That's the part where you actually learn how to do more. So the person who always raises their hand is always going to out-leverage you. The reason being is because they're not afraid. And so if they keep their hand up, they figure it out along the way. And if you want to do something, whatever it is, dude, raise your hand and keep your hand up. Because if you don't, how will you ever be chosen in life? How will you want to go to certain levels in your life. You want customers to choose you. You want life to choose you. You want millionaire status to choose you. Well, dude, you got to be willing to raise your hand. And the riskiest thing you can do is sit on your hands. The strength and your security are actually from taking the risk. What you perceive as a risk. I raise my hand, I'm gonna look stupid. You're gonna figure it out. You'll figure it out along the way. 6527. This is one of my favorite ones too. I guess I had a bunch of them this week. Live with versus live for. And many times we say we live for this. I want to get to this next level. This is really, really what I want. We say we want more for things in our life, but our actions are living with. And so we're living with the acceptance of this is what it is. It is what it is. And everything we do is with that mantra, man. This is your circumstances, but make your circumstances temporary. Number one, raising your hand. No matter what the circumstances are. I don't care how deep in the hole you are. I don't care what notice you got. I don't care what phone call you got. I don't care how bad your month is going. When you face the adversity, if you'll do this one thing, if you say, I live for this, that one thing, bro, is going to shift your whole mindset. Be on the offense, not the defense. It's going to shift you out of this victim mentality. And episode 528, Ed Milet was on Tom Buice's podcast. The person you are today is perfect for now, but it's going to be inadequate for the years to come. He said, I'm in a constant crisis to get to the next version of me. And I was like, oh my God,
That is brilliant. Get to the next version of you. How freeing and how liberating that is to realize that there's a better version just ahead for you. It doesn't matter when people try to throw things in your face. It doesn't matter what your current circumstances are now. It doesn't even matter what your past is. You have a better version. So don't sit there and accept only the version that you have. Don't give the people who love you most, don't give them a cheap version of yourself. This is a good version what you got right now. Yes, love what you got. But understand, man, there's a better version for you just ahead. And then episode 529, bringing it all home, man. This is emulation versus imitation. And I posted a blog about this podcast on LinkedIn. And one of my buddies on there, who is an author, Patrick Tinney, Unlocking Yes is one of his books. He said, I don't emulate people. He said, I emulate ideas. And I'm like, boom. I sent him a little brain explosion emoji. And I'm like, bro, that's it. The imitation is the A to Z. I want to imitate so I can get from point A to point Z quickly. It's the quick flash. The emulation is the slow burn. That's points B to Y. That's what happens after the start and just before the results. It's so key. And if you find that you're frustrated, if you find that you're stalemated in life, if you keep starting and stopping, it's probably because you're imitating someone's success and not emulating. See, I don't want you to imitate the successful. I want you to emulate what it took to be successful. And that's a long pace. That's a long slog. But it's the craft, man. It's the craftsmanship. And I relate to buying a rack suit versus a custom-made suit. It's two totally different things, and it's a great analogy, man. I urge you to go back and listen to that. So that is this week's every day, 7 days, man. You got 7 days all in one episode. So don't forget to share and subscribe this week's episode. If they don't want to listen to 7 days a week, they can listen to this one. And if something piques their interest, then maybe they can go back and listen to that as well. So also subscribe. Don't forget the YouTube channel. Don't forget the IGTV channel if that's where you like to hang out. It's The Real Sales Life on IGTV. Text me your questions. Text me any thoughts that you have. 337-565-0906.